So as far as the Drake versus Kendrick battle, it's been over for about a week or two, somewhere in the ballpark of 2 weeks. You know, Kendrick, I can't lie, solidify the dub. We're getting the number one with You Not Like Us. And in my mind, I never thought that numbers would even play a part in a rap beef. When we were discussing it as it was going, I was like, that doesn't mean nothing. It doesn't mean nothing. But having a number one as a diss, that I can't sit here and lie to you, that means something. That absolutely means a lot. So with that being said, we got that established. But in hindsight, I really was thinking about this because as it was going on live, you could go back and watch my videos. I thought Drake won by the last diss that he put out. Perception changed because of public perception. When you look at this, you objectively have to say, in my opinion, just based on what everybody is saying and some of the things that happened as far as the numbers, that Drake lost. So with that, Yachty is giving his opinion on this, and he had an epiphany that I had a few days ago that I wasn't going to say on the channel, but when he said it, I was like, I don't know Lil Yachty, and he had the same thought that I had. So this kind of validates what I thought. So I'm going to give it to you shortly after you listen to him speak.
That Kendrick clearly had a lot more animosity, and you felt it in every song that he dropped. Because Drake dropped great records, but also, let's be fair, Drake was deemed a loser in this battle before it started because people don't like him and haven't, and he's won for a very long time, and he's sat at the top of the throne, and still, honestly, respectfully, I think he still sits at the top of the throne. I think that even if opinionated masses would say that Kendrick won, I don't think that people are going to stop listening to Drake, and like Drake's career is going to like flush.
In like the art of a diss track, what do you think is more important, like the hard hitting bars that are like, oh my god, this is really gonna affect his life and his like career or whatever, or the song that maybe has those but it gets the people going on that
There's no rules. There's no rules, and it's not like the NCAA March Madness, where it's been the same way. Every rap battle has been scored and handled a little differently, and it's not officiated. This seems like the most officiated beef as far as like when it comes to like winner ish. But I said to Drake, I told him I feel like it. Like, I don't feel like you won or lost. I don't feel like rappers have lost and then lost everything. like maybe not lost their money, but yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? And like, it just was never looked at the same. I don't think that this has happened to Drake. I think Drake will still be in everyone's Wrapped Spotify at the end of the year, at the top. I think he could still drop hits, and it will still hit Control the Summer. I think that Kendrick made very smart moves, and I don't think Drake would disagree.
So I don't really want to discuss, opinions as far as whether Drake, won or lost, or if Kendrick won or lost, because again, you could hear Yachty saying that he didn't think, he told Drake, I don't think you won or lost. If you didn't win, you lost, bro. That's just what it is. So with that being said, if somebody close to Drake can tell him he didn't win, and this is somebody in the inner circle, we just gotta face the facts. We gotta face what it is. Drake lost. But this is the thing that I want to discuss today. The one thing that he said in this clip, Drake lost before it even got started because so many people hate Drake. I'm going to break this down. And I know some of you people, which is going to be Drake haters and Kendrick stans, those two categories of people, you're going to have a lot to say Regardless. And that's why I'm about to say what I'm going to say, because you guys played the most extreme part in this beef. So let's go back to the Pusha T beef. Pusha T does not have a tremendous fan base in the way of Drake, to where he does big numbers every time he drops. He's fucking up the Billboard. He's breaking records. That's Drake. That's what Drake does. Push does not do that. Push is kind of a legacy act that, transition and is still having a good career. Still relevant to this day, right now at this moment, as far as him dropping new music. But this is the thing. When you look at that, the two are very opposed. They are not the same at all. They don't even make similar music, similar subject matter, nothing like that. Push gets into the beef with Drake as a lower tier rapper from a mainstream success standpoint, right? What does Push do? Push uses the fact that, Drake has a baby and that Drake is rolling out the baby with an Adidas rollout. He attacks Drake's family, attacks Drake's producer. But the most important piece that is still a narrative to this day is Adonis, Drake's son. People feel like Push won that battle because of the dirt. They feel like, and this is a popular narrative, he forced Drake into being a father. You see memes like that go around. You see comments like that popping up all the time to this day, even though that was 5 years ago. If you take Adonis out of that whole equation and the Adidas rollout, the diss loses a lot of its sting. It loses a lot. It's still a good diss, but that was a knockout punch. Drake could come back from all that stuff he said with nothing to do with Adonis, his baby mom, and the Adidas rollout. Those are three secrets that when we all look at the beef, we all point at that as why this cat won. So Drake is not an idiot. Drake knew that's why he lost. He had to go and do the LeBron, the shop, and then do the Elliott Wilson. And if you ask me, that's why he doesn't do interviews anymore, because it's like every time I sit down with Elliott Wilson, I got to talk about some beef. And I don't want to do that. I think that's Drake's mind frame. And that's how come Elliott Wilson and academics there mad, because Drake won't take no real hip hop interviews or no shit like that. But he knew the battle with Kendrick is something that could inevitably come, or that somebody may have the nuts to step up. But really the only person with the caliber of superstardom that would step up to him is Kendrick, because Cole is not doing it. Travis isn't like lyrical or anything like that to the degree that he could fuck with Drake like that. Future, we seen what Future did. Nicki Minaj is not going to battle Drake. They already had a little tension and stuff like that. So Kendrick is the guy he had to worry about. So with that battle, that kind of changed the paradigm of battling. So the paradigm of battling, as far as, industry battles and stuff like that, it kind of changed with Drake, because you can't point at another beef where something that devastating got exposed and that's why a person lost. Ether was not no big exposure and stuff like that. And even when you look at Super Ugly, Nas, having a baby mom fucking Jay-Z and that getting exposed, that didn't make Nas lose the beef at that time. Nas was still the winner. Jay-Z actually came out and apologized afterwards. So with that being said, I just say that to say, when Drake looks at the scoreboard, when he looks at the footage, when he goes back and reviews the footage, that's why Drake lost. So what Drake did is he like Kendrick said, master manipulator. Drake even agreed to it. He came up with we're going to plant a fake daughter. Whenever this shit happens, we got this shit in the bag. We gonna do a fake daughter rollout. And we gonna give that to a motherfucker, and then he gonna think that he got some shit. If you look at it on paper, that sounds good. That sounds like a good strategy. But let's talk about what Drake underestimated. The miscalculation and underestimation was Drake haters, not even Kendrick stans, because Drake has a stan base, Kendrick has a stan base, Cole has a stan base. Shit, Nicki Minaj and Beyonce and Rihanna, they have stan bases. So if it's stan base against stan base, that's just one thing. The thing Drake didn't think about when it came to this is how big of a part his actual haters would play into this. Because this is the thing. I'm not even going to break it down super crazy. Let's just go to one thing. You remember the daughter or the son being Adonis. That was the big thing that made Push win the beef. When it comes to Kendrick, Drake comes out with Family Matters. He knows where Drake is going to go. So he has Meet the Grams loaded up. So he's ready to meet them. He's ready to meet him head on. And it's a battle about families and dirt and calling people wife beaters and pedophiles and things of that nature, right? So this is not, I know people would love to think this is a lyrical rap battle. Listen, man, lyrics is not what won this battle. So let's not even talk about lyrics and all that. Like, it's cool. It's cool. But if the narratives weren't there in either one of their disses, but the other narratives were there in one of the others' disses, that person would win. So let's not do this like it was just the most lyrical and we are just getting to like, yeah, there were some lyrics in there that were great because these are two top tier lyricists. That's just what it is. But this is not about lyrics. This is about dirt and narratives. That's why Drake is still being called a pedophile to this day. To this day. And nobody cares about the narrative about Kendrick beating his girl. Nobody cares about that. Why? Because of the Drake haters and the Kendrick stans. That's what it is. But let's talk about the Drake haters very quickly. When you look at a lot of older people, those are the Drake haters. I can even keep it all the way real. Older people in my life, relatives and things of that nature, they absolutely just hate Drake. Because he's the guy that they hear on the radio that in their mind can't sing. And the thing about, I'll just keep it so real, older black people is they just love to hate. Let me just keep it so real with you. They're just fucking natural haters, man. Even when it comes to old people in general, they love to hate on the youth. That's just what it is. So the thing I wanted to point at was the daughter. Because like I mentioned earlier, Pusha T won because of the son thing. When you watch Joe Budden, you know Joe Budden has had like 50 beat, like he did a bunch of disses towards Drake and Drake fucked his girl. So he's going to play like he likes Drake and Drake is cool, but you dissed the man and, he also lit you up and you done said his album was trash and that's why he lit you up in a whole message saying you was a failure and stuff like that. He done been on your live saying, ooh, turn on Pump It Up, it'll put the Airbnb into a tizzy. Like he's done these things, right? So they don't really like each other. He gets into this, and it happened on his podcast when they do the reviews. He tried to downplay the dirt that, Drake had as far as a wife beating. But when it came time to talk about Meet the Grams, the narrative about fabricated dirt, like he said, it doesn't matter if it's fabricated or not. We're here for the lies. I never heard nobody say no shit like that in my life. Ever. 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 I've never heard somebody say in a diss battle, not a rap battle live, but a diss battle, or just in any other context for the most part, where it's two people versus two people, that the truth doesn't matter. Yeah, there may be other contexts where that may be the case, but really I have not heard that in this context. So for Joe Budden to be such a like, oh man, just overqualified, oh, because he was in the industry and he did like 18 mixtapes and, you know, fucking Pump It Up just went platinum after 20 years and shit. But you thought it was a hit. You thought it was like a major hit because we all know it, but no, it just went platinum a few years ago and shit. Just went platinum a few years ago and shit. Let me say that again because everybody thinks that's just a fucking mega hit and shit. It just went platinum a few years ago, man. 20 years, bro. You would think that he would have a more tasteful, better take than that, but that is a take that he had. And let's be honest, and I know some of y'all are Joe Budden dick riders. He's a hater. He's a hater. He's going to try and come off as if he's unbiased, but there's enough there to make a great case for him being a hater. That's just what it is. Now, this is the other thing. Even outside of that, I've seen other fans have that narrative. I expect Kendrick stands to say, man, that shit don't matter. I expect Kendrick stands to say, man, that shit don't matter. It's still a great diss. I've had somebody else give me the take. Whether it's fake or not, why would you give somebody that's that lyrical with that much animosity towards you such a great angle to make something about you? All that tells me is that you also don't give a fuck that this shit is not even real. There's substance behind Kendrick beating his girl. Even with the pedophile Drake allegations, there's substance because, man, he has a track record. Millie Bobby Brown, Billie Eilish, and all that stuff. Even though I don't believe it, there's at least something there to point at. There is nothing to point at because it's a complete fabrication and niggas still fuck with it. At that moment, and then just, I'm not even going to go deep because we already went deep enough. After seeing all the crip walking and celebrating, they ain't like us just getting played. Niggas don't even play. Like, bro, I'm all the way over in the Midwest. Niggas don't play that type of music out here, bro. You hear that shit all the time now, bro. You hear that Not Like Us all the time. And everywhere I go online, you hear that shit, and then you just see some other West Coast nigga. I don't even want to say West Coast. It's specifically LA niggas fucking holding their elbows up like chicken wings and twisting their legs, bro. I done seen so much A, B, C, B, D, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P walking. I done seen every letter type of walk in the past fucking 2 weeks, bro. If there is a letter and it's followed by walk, I have fucking seen it. And it was done to this kid, bro. This is like, bro, it ain't nothing like this that ever happened for LA, bro. I can't, man. I like the Chargers. Like, bro, did they ever win a Super Bowl? You gotta I ain't about to look that shit up, man, because like this gotta be bigger than the Super Bowl. If the fucking Rams or whoever the fuck is out there won that shit. So listen, man, I'm done, man. That's what it is. I just realized later in the game, later after everything was all said and done, the level of excuses that they give just lets me know. And that's not even the only area it happens in, bro, when it comes to this beef. These people discredit Drake at every turn. It's like he might as well have not even did shit. Look at the amount of dislikes on Drake's video. When have you ever seen something like that? The Heart Part 6. When have you ever seen something like that? It's not even debatable that Drake haters played a major part in this because that's exactly what a fucking hater does. Put a thumbs down on a video and then try and run up the thumbs down. So with that being said, I'm done. Y'all let me know what you think. I'm out.